Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and much respect to the Akim out there laboring in his work. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect that are scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth. To USA, Shalom. So yeah, I just want to go into a quick lesson that's pretty much going to be an exhortation and a faith booster. Just considering the times that we're coming into as far as Jacob's trouble, in which we know, according to the report, these devils will eventually make a move on the Israelites. All right. Esau will eventually make a move on the Israelites. And that's going to be a period of time in which divine intervention is going to be needed, because without their protection, then we will definitely be consumed. So I want to go into a prayer of King Hezekiah, who was a righteous king, all right, in which he made a petition to the Lord and it was answered at a particular moment. So before we get into that, let's go to Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? So as we read these ancient accounts of our forefathers and we see how the Lord intervened, he stepped in and ultimately delivered them, well, that gives us hope concerning the times we're coming into. It gives us faith. And so let's go into this right here, in which I pulled up Hezekiah's account on Google. All right. So it says here in the AI overview, yes, King Hezekiah is considered a righteous king in the Bible. Faithful. It said Hezekiah was a faithful follower of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai and was considered one of the most righteous kings in Judah. He was the son of the wicked king Ahaz, but he turned Judah away from idolatry and back to the worship of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. And, we fall in the same stead today as, the Lord is raising up kings and priests. Well, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai from Apostle on down, we're turning Jake or the Israelites back unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, which goes into the remnant. So prayer, it says Hezekiah was a great man of prayer, and his prayers are considered a model for how to pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. He prayed fervently and with gratitude in prayer, as you've been hearing or should have been hearing about many different brothers and elders going to prayer and how that's, very necessary, especially in these times, man. Okay, praying without ceasing. So Hezekiah was a strong prayer. So reform worship, it says Hezekiah reformed worship practices and protected the Lord's worship, just like we protect the gospel, we're defenders of the gospel now. All right. So it says he did what was right. Hezekiah's vision was to do what was right before the Lord, not what was right before himself or his nation. So he literally put the Lord's will first, man. And the elect fall in that same stead in which we're not seeking to please our own selves, but rather pleasing Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. All right. And so I want to get his account real quick because that shows obedience, and with obedience, there's going to be protection there. There's going to be a defense, as we're going to go into. And so let's go to the book of Judah real quick and just get, an account of what happens when you're obedient, or when we were obedient. So the book of Judah, the 5th chapter in the Apocrypha, and this is pretty much a council. All right. When Holofernes, the Assyrian general, heard that the Israelites had prepared for war, blocked the mountain passes, fortified the mountain tops, and set up roadblocks in the plains. All right. So eventually, there was a council made, and this is in the GNT, Salakia. So eventually there was a council made, in which you had these other, I think it was Ammon right here. Yeah. Yeah. So right here, we'll just read verse 5 and we'll skip down. So it says, then Hezekiah, the leader of the Ammonites, answered Holofernes, sir, if you will please be so kind as to listen to me, I will tell you the truth about these people who live in the mountains near your camp. I will not lie to you. So it says, these people are the descendants of some Babylonians who abandoned the ways of their ancestors in order to worship the God of heaven. All right, Yahweh Shemashah. So it says, finally, they were driven out of their land because they refused to worship their ancestors' gods, these idols. Then they fled to Mesopotamia, where they settled and lived for a long time. So afterward, their God told them to leave Mesopotamia and go to the land of Canaan, where they settled and became very rich in gold, silver, and livestock. So later, when the famine struck, and we'll just skip on down, just get to the point. So this council, basically um, highlighted this point right here. Let me see. So we just go to verse 17. All right. So this is what Esau and the heathen know and understand. They had to report on us as far as, what would happen if we was doing the right thing according to the Most High, opposed to when we didn't. So verse 17 says, their God hates wickedness. And as long as they did not sin against him, they prospered. See that? But when they disobeyed him, they suffered heavy losses in many wars and were finally taken away as captives to a foreign country. So the temple of their power was leveled and their cities were occupied by their enemies. And that happened constantly. 19. But now they have returned to their power, right? They have come back home from the countries where they had been scattered. They have again taken possession of the city of Jerusalem. And of course, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, all right, where their temple is, and have resettled in the mountains that had remained uninhabited. Okay. So it says, sir, if these people are now sinning against their power, even unknowingly, that's why you got all kind of shit in your food, man. Pork everywhere, right? And Esau got everything, all right, set up in this system to cause you to unknowingly go off, all right, even if you do know the law, man. So it says, and if we can be sure that they are guilty of some offense, we can successfully attack them, all right? But if they have not disobeyed the law of their power, then you should leave them alone, or he will defend them. See that? Or he will defend them, and we will be disgraced before the whole world. See that? So the point here is that when the Lord is with us, no one can fuck with us. All right, no matter how many uh, um, men that these nations got in their army, no matter how much might they have, when Yahweh Shemashah was with us, then we was unfuckwittable, But once we departed from the law, disobeyed, then we were consumed. We lost that hedge, man. So now we're in a time in which we've been brought back into obedience by Yahweh Shai. You see, Yahweh Shai was the key because, we still go off in the flesh, but through the spirit, all right, the elect will be presented blameless through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. Okay, so you got these elites who want to stand in support of Esau and also the heathen nations, in which they see that, we're calling on that name, Yahweh Shema Shai, and we're doing according to what's written. So they're in fear right now, but eventually they will come in, all right, like the scripture say, as a flood. So from there, let's go real quick to Isaiah 34. It's gonna be a build up scripture into. Let me see, is it Isaiah 34? Maybe Psalm 34, slack it. Yeah, so Psalm 34 and 7. We'll start at verse 4. Verse 6 is perfect. So it says, this poor man cried, and the Lord Yahweh Bashimashai heard him and saved him out of all of his troubles. Spirit. So it says, the angel of the Lord Yahweh Bashimashai encamp around about them that fear him and deliver them. Okay, case in point, King Hezekiah, he truly feared the Lord, man. He was obedient, and we're going to see how the Lord showed favor. All right. So before we get into it, let's go right here in the Google. So I just typed in, why did the angel kill 185,000 Assyrian soldiers right here? All right. So let's read this AI overview. So it says, according to the Bible, an angel killed 185,000 Assyrian soldiers. Just one angel, man. See that? It's like two packed out football stadiums because they were besieging Jerusalem and threatening the city. See this? So prompting King Hezekiah to pray to Yahweh Shemashah for protection, leading to divine intervention by the angel to strike down the Assyrian army overnight as a response to Hezekiah's pleas. This event is recorded in 2 Kings 19 and 35 and also Isaiah 37, 36 through 38. All right. So key points about this story. The enemy, the Assyrian army, known for their cruelty, were laying siege to Jerusalem. And in the spirit, we know that the modern day Assyrian is Esau, Edom. And of course, Jerusalem today represents the elect of Israel. Okay. Pretty much Israel overall, but mainly, all right, we're talking about those who are within the courts. So again, the Assyrian army, which today is Esau, known for their cruelty, all right, will laying siege to Jerusalem. That's what's going to happen again. All right, just like in 70 AD. So it says the prayer, King Hezekiah of Judah prayed to Yahweh Shemashah for protection against the Assyrian threat. Same thing that we're doing today. So what's going to happen? Divine intervention. Yahweh Shemashah sent an angel to strike down the Assyrian soldiers in one night. The number the Bible specifies that 185,000 Assyrian soldiers were killed by the angel. See that? So this shows you how when the Lord is with you or with us, okay, that there's going to be divine intervention. As you're seeing these angels pop up, these chariot sightings everywhere, man, you got to understand that the Lord's going to work mighty works once these devils move in. Okay. So let's go to Isaiah 37 to the account. Hezekiah seeks the Lord's help, right? So Isaiah 37, and we'll start. Okay. Salakia, let me see. Yeah, we'll just read from the top. So it says, when Hezekiah heard their report, he tore his clothes and put on burlap and went into the temple of the Lord. Same thing you see today. We got on sackcloth, garments of mourning, and we're going into the temple. So it says, and he sent Eliakim, the palace administrator, Shebna, the court secretary, and the leading priests, all dressed in burlap, to the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos. So they told him, this is what King Hezekiah said, today is the day of trouble, right? Today is the day of trouble. We speak about Jacob's trouble all the time. So the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. So Hezekiah is approaching a day of trouble. It says insults and disgrace. It is like when a child is ready to be born, but the mother has no strength to deliver the baby. Wow. But perhaps the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, your power, has heard the Assyrian chief of staff, sent by the king to defy the living power, and I will punish him for his words. Oh, pray for those of us who are left. All right. So after King Hezekiah's officials delivered the king's message to Isaiah, the prophet replied, say to your master, this is what the Lord says. Do not be disturbed by his blasphemous speech against me from the Assyrian king's messengers. It says, listen, I myself will move against him, and the king will receive a message that he is needed at home. So he will return to his land where I will have him killed with a sword. So meanwhile, the Assyrian chief of staff left Jerusalem and went to consult the king of Assyria, who had left Lachish and was attacking Libnah. Soon afterward, King Sennacherib received word that King Tirhakah of Ethiopia was leading an army to fight against him. So to meet the attack, he sent messengers back to Hezekiah in Jerusalem with this message. Okay. So it says, this message is for King Hezekiah of Judah. Don't let your God, in whom you trust, deceive you with promises that Jerusalem would not be captured by the king of Assyria. See that? So he's letting them know, like, don't even try. Your God can't deliver you, man. And he's gonna go on and boast about all the kings that he took down. So verse 11, you know perfectly well what the kings of Assyria have done wherever they have gone. They have completely destroyed everyone who stood in their way. Why should you be any different? Have the gods of other nations rescued them, such nations as Gozam, Haran, Rezaph, and the people of Eden who were in Telazar? My predecessors destroyed them all. So this is Esau today, man. As we know that he was given the strength to take down all these different nations. So he has that same pompous spirit, who should make war with the beast, you know, he don't feel like he can go down, right? So it says, what happened to the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad? What happened to the kings of Sepharvaim, Hena, and Avah? So he boasting like a motherfucker. So it says, after Hezekiah received the letter from the messengers and read it, he went up to the Lord's temple and spread it out before the Lord. So it says, and Hezekiah prayed this prayer before the Lord. Okay. He says, quote unquote, O Yahweh, Ba'ashim al-Shai of heaven's armies, the God of Israel, you are enthroned between the mighty cherubim. You alone are Yahweh Ba'ashim al-Shai, or Slaka. You alone are power of all the kingdoms of the earth. You alone created the heavens and the earth. So bend down, O Lord, and listen. Open your eyes, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim al-Shai, and see. Listen to Sennacherib's words of defiance against the living power. The same thing that we're doing today, man. As the devil is threatening to consume us. This devil is plotting wicked devices against us to destroy us. Well, we're praying to the Lord, to hear this nigga's words, man, and to overthrow him. Okay, so ultimately, when you continue reading on, it says, "It is true, Lord, that the kings of Assyria have destroyed all these nations, right? And they have thrown the gods of these nations into the fire and burned them. But of course, the Assyrians could destroy them. Okay, so they were not gods at all. Only idols of wood and stone shaped by human hands, right? They had no power. So it says, now, O Lord, our power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, rescue us from his power. Then all the kingdoms of the earth will know that you alone, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, are the power. See that? So as you continue reading, it says, then Isaiah, son of Amos, sent this message to Hezekiah. This is what the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, the power of Israel, says, because you prayed about King Sennacherib of Assyria. The Lord has spoken this word against him. The virgin daughter of Zion despises you and laughs at you. The daughter of Jerusalem shakes her head in derision as you flee. Whom have you been defying and ridiculing? Against whom did you raise your voice? At whom did you look with such haughty eyes? It was the Holy One of Israel. By your messengers you have defied the Lord. You have said, with my many chariots, I have conquered the highest mountains. Yes, the remotest parts of Lebanon. I have cut down the tallest cedars. All right, and its finest cypress trees. I have reached the farthest heights and explored its deepest forests. I have dug wells in many foreign lands and refreshed myself with their water. With the sole of my foot, I stopped up all the rivers of Egypt. So they boasting in the fact that, hey, they did this, but it wasn't them that did it. The Lord gave them that power to do that. Okay. So anyway, it says, but have you not heard? I decided this long ago. Long ago, I planned it, and now I am making it happen, man. I plan for you to crush fortified cities into heaps of rubble. That is why their people have so little power and are so frightened and confused. They are as weak as grass, as easily trampled as tender green shots. They are like grass sprouting on housetop, scorched before it can grow lush and tall. So it says, but I know you well, where you stay and when you come and go. I know the way you have raised against me, and because of your raising against me and your arrogance, which I have heard for myself, I will put my hook in your nose and my bit in your mouth, and I will make you return back the same road in which you came. All right. So it says, then Isaiah said to Hezekiah, here is the proof that what I say is true. This year you will eat only what grows of itself, and the next year You will eat what springs up from that. But in the third year, you will plant crops and harvest them. You will tend vineyards and eat their fruit. And so we get into the point. It says, and you who are left in Judah, who have escaped the ravages of the siege, will put roots down in your soil, all right, in your own soil, and grow up and flourish. Okay, for a remnant of my people will spread out from Jerusalem. See, it's always about that remnant, man. It says a group of survivors from Mount Zion, right? The passionate commitment to the Lord Yahweh by Shemashai's armies will make this happen. So the angels of the Lord, they camp round about those that fear him and deliver them, man. So in the time of evil, we're going to have this type of protection, Lord willing, we're the number. But the elect are going to have, help from the heavens. So it says, and this is what the Lord says about the king of Assyria. His armies will not enter Jerusalem. They will not even shoot an arrow at it. They will not march outside his gates with their shields, nor build banks of earth against his walls. All right. And again, Jerusalem's a people for it's a place. So in the spirit, as we are New Jerusalem, right? Lord willing, we're going to have that hedge there as well. As the Lord is not going to let them besiege us and overcome us. So it says the king will return to his own country by the same road on which he came. He will not enter this city, said the Lord. For my own honor and for my sake of my servant David, I will defend this city and protect it. You see that? And so how did the Lord protect the city back then? Well, verse 36, that night the angel of the Lord, Yahweh by Shemashai, went out unto the Assyrian camp and killed 185,000 Assyrian soldiers, man. When the surviving Assyrians woke up the next morning, they found corpses everywhere. Then King Sennacherib of Assyria broke camp and returned to his own land. He went home to his capital of Nineveh and stayed there, man. So, all right, that was confounded. There was rebuke, reproach, all because of a prayer from Hezekiah, who was a righteous king, and overall, he represents the elect. You had the king Hezekiah and the righteous prophet Isaiah, so the city was protected. So we expect the same thing to happen in these times, right? So when these devils do come in like a flood, expect these angels, man, to cut up. All right, so Psalm 125, the Lord surrounds his people. So they that trust in the Lord Yahweh Shemashai shall be as Mount Zion, see, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. So as the mountains are round about Jerusalem, that's these different governments, right? So the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is round about his people henceforth, even forever. For the rod of the wicked should not rest upon a lot of the righteous. There's going to be a hedge there, man. There's going to be a defense set forth just by you, taking heed and obeying his truth, because when you obey this truth, man, that's you being accepted back of the Lord. All right. You found favor with the Lord now. So you can look for that protection to be shown. So it says, lest the righteous put forth their hands into iniquity. So the goal here is to remain pure and to not to go back into the world and subscribe to all the different philosophies. Because when you do that, you start entertaining the world again. Well, that's when you lose a hedge. See? So do good, O Lord, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. See? The Lord saved the upright in heart. For such as turn aside into their crooked ways, the Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity. But peace shall be upon Israel. See? Those that walk according to this rule. See? Peace should be upon them. Right? So the Lord is going to protect the upright in heart. Now, this is something that we had to believe. It's like for it being so long, but it's all through the spirit. So Psalm 7 verse 10, it says, my defense is of Yahweh Ba'ashimashah, which saveth the upright in heart. So this gospel, this truth, it keeps us upright in our mind. All right. It keeps that hedge about us. Okay. So if we have this truth, then we can expect the Lord to really showcase his power and might by saving us in a time of trouble. So just wanted to go through that, man. So Lord willing, you're edified. Until next time I say, Shalom.